What's up guys, just here with a quick message before the video. Obviously this is not Lumiose Station, but this is DataDex. Why is this being uploaded here? Well, as you will know if you have checked Lumiose recently, there haven't been any uploaded since like August, September last year, and I've had this video since then just sitting on my hard drive, so I figured, fuck it, I'll just upload it. So, here you go, yeah, basically, here it is. What's up Lumiose Station, and welcome back to another episode of the Pokemon DataDex with me, TheOneIntegral. Last week we covered the fairy type Pokemon from the Kalos region, Florges, Florges, I don't know, Florges, whatever, however you say it, we covered that, and I asked you guys which Mega Evolution did you want to see me cover this week. The choice was between Mega Manectric and Mega Camerupt, and Mega Camerupt came out on top because everyone knows how to use Manectric. It's pretty obvious. Camerupt is newer, or Mega Camerupt is, so that's who we're covering. Next week, I'm going to go on a bit of a legendary spree, I think, and we're going to cover, several legendaries in a row. Next week's vote is between the Pixie Trio, or the Lake Trio, which is Uxie, Mesprit, or Azelf. If you want to see Uxie cover down below, comment Uxie. If you want to see Mesprit cover down below, comment Mesprit. And if you want to see Azelf covered down below, or not down below, but comment down below. You guys get the idea now. You've done this enough times, you know what to do. Just throw the comment down there with the name of the Pokemon you want to see next week. But for now, let's get on and start looking at Camerupt, and of course, Mega Camerupt. So Camerupt, it is number 323 in the National Pokédex, is a fire ground type, and is the Eruption Pokemon, which makes sense because it has two, I guess, craters on its back. Two craters, or two, volcanoes almost. It stands at 6 foot 3 inches or 1.9 meters, so it's a pretty big Pokemon. It's bigger than, I guess a bit bigger than your average cow. And it weighs 485 pounds or 220 kilograms, so it's pretty heavy as well. It's in the field egg group for breeding, so it's very basic there, and the male-female split is 50-50, so nothing too special there. Evolution-wise, evolves from the male, as I'm sure most of you know, and this starts at level 33, so it doesn't evolve too late or too early, and it's fairly powerful when it does evolve. Looking at its base stats though, this is where it gets down to the nitty-gritty. If I throw them up there, you see its highest base stat is Special Attack at 105, then its Attack at 100, and then going down we have Health Points and Defense at 70, as well as Special Defense at 75, and then finally Speed at 40. So as you can tell, it's a very offensive Pokemon. There's a lot of damage, it's not very fast, and its defenses aren't stellar. So generally there's a pretty good base stats. They're obviously not amazing base stats, it's not a really powerful Pokemon like Garchomp or Lucario, but it does have some decent stats that you can't really complain about, I suppose. 100 attack and 105 special attack. Looking at those, you'd think, okay, it can be either, either a physical attacker or a special attacker. Yeah, pretty much, you can go either way. Generally, though, special is seen more. I think this is mainly because, yes, okay, you can have Earthquake on a physical Camerupt, but what fire type move you're going to use? It doesn't get Flame Charge, I'm pretty sure. I can't even think of a physical fire type move. It gets loads of special fire type moves, but I can't think of any physical ones it might get, apart from a very sort of weak one. So that's the reason why Camerupt is basically used specially rather than physically. You could run a physical Camerupt, except you're going to lose one of your better stabs almost, so that's a lot less coverage you're going to have. Of course, you could run a mixed Camerupt, which would work pretty well, Earthquake, Flamethrower, stuff like that. Obviously we'll look at the moves in a minute, but generally Special Camerupt is the one you'll see, so that's what I'm going to be covering in this video mostly. Looking at Camerupt's abilities then, it has 3 available actually. The first one is Magma Armor, which prevents it from being frozen, which is alright, okay, you can get frozen, but how often does freezing happen? Not very often at all, so generally that ability is it's a meh ability. Okay, it's going to help you if you run it, but it's not going to help you that often. The second one is Solid Rock, which reduces the damage from super effective attacks, a bit like Filter. And this is a pretty good ability, Obviously you're going to take less damage, its defense is not amazing, so it's not going to be this super bulky Pokemon that, cannot take any, doesn't take any damage sort of thing, but it's just going to reduce the damage anyway, and as we look at the typing in a second, its typing isn't the best, so it certainly helps. Its last ability, which is Anger Point, is the hidden ability, and this maxes the attack stat after the Pokemon takes a critical hit. It's a physical attack stat, so as I mentioned, it's really not going to be too useful for Camerupt since we're running special Camerupt most of the time. If you're running a physical one, you could run Anger Point. However, the thing then is, you have to take a critical hit for it to work. Of course, the critical hit could kill you, so that's that idea gone straight away. But if you, obviously, it's the chance of a critical hit is not going to hit a Camerupt every single battle. It might only hit every 5 battles. So that ability is going to be useful at 1 in 5 battles. Whereas Solid Rock, is you assume a person that's going to use their strongest move against you, which will be super effective, so it's going to help you whenever it's going to help in most battles, Solid Rock, to be honest. If we take a look at Camerupt's typing, so we can specifically see how Solid Rock helps, Camerupt resists 5 types, which are Fire, Poison, Bug, Steel, and Fairy, so that's a good mix. Fire, obviously fairly common, Fairy is getting more common, because obviously it's good against Dragon types and such. Poison, again, more common because the Fairy type's been introduced, the same with Steel. Bug, Bug's sort of just it's an air type, it's hardly ever around, but you see it every now and again. But those are some decent resistances. You're not going to complain about it getting a resistance, are you? It has 2 weaknesses, which are Water and Ground. It's 4 times weak to Water, though, so you have to be careful. I think with Solid Rock, it reduced it to 3 times, but it's still pretty bad to take that attack. Ground, it's just 2 times, and with Solid Rock I'm pretty sure it goes down to 1.5 times. So with these 2 moves here, you might be able to, Water, 4 times effective, taking a Water attack at full health, it might be able to one-hit kill you. If you're running Solid Rock, however, it might be able to survive it. Might. Depends on the attack and the Pokemon and whatnot. But it offers the opportunity to possibly survive the attack and do something else in return. So that's why Solid Rock is generally the better ability to run of the 3. It has 1 immunity, which is electric because it's part ground type, so that's, just take an immunity, why not? And then the rest we have are all neutral. Generally, it's not an amazing type in my opinion, because obviously 4 times weakness to water is never good to have, so that's why fire rock types and fire ground types are sort of shunned, I guess, or not seen as often, because that 4 times weakness there, because water is a fairly common type. But you can't complain about the type too much, it's only got 2 weaknesses, it could be worse, you just sort of have to avoid water type moves, basically. So that's it for the typing there. If we then move on to look at the moves you could run on a Camerupt. As I mentioned earlier, we're sort of just looking at special Camerupt here. If you want to run a physical Camerupt or a mixed Camerupt, go for it, but I'm not going to cover that here because it's not generally used too much, especially if we look at the Mega in a minute as well. Physical Camerupt is, again, not really seen there as a Mega Camerupt either. But moves, we have a few level up ones to start off. First one is at level 22, it learns Lava Plume, which is basically a flamethrower but for a sort of a duel battle or a triple battle or a free-for-all. So if you're going to run, if you're looking to run this Camerupt for a duel battle or for a free-for-all, for example, go for Lava Plume over Flamethrower, I would recommend. If you go for doubles, you could also pair Camerupt with a Pokemon with Flash Fire, use Lava Plume. They're not going to take any damage, and their fire type moves are going to get powered up. Of course, 2 fire type moves on the field at one time isn't the best, but you guys get there, just strategy you can throw out there. But Lava Plume is pretty decent. If you're running it, if it's a single battle Camerupt though, it's probably just better to run Flamethrower overall, I think. I don't know if Lava Plume's got a lower accuracy maybe, or not, but yeah, Lava Plume is for double or free-for-alls. Then level 26, Camerupt can learn Earth Power. It's basically Earthquake, but for special special sets. It has slightly less power, I think. I think it's only got a power of 90, whereas Earthquake has a power of 100. So you're going to be doing a little bit less damage. But of course, if you're running special Camerupt, Earth Power you want to run over Earthquake, definitely. Then the final level up move we have here is Eruption at level 52. Eruption is basically like Lava Plume, I'm pretty sure, affects the whole field. However, you can run this one in single battles because it's more powerful than Flamethrower at times. Eruption's power is based on your current health points. If you're at full health points, I think it has a power of something like 120, maybe even higher than that. However, it quickly drops off. If you're at half health points, it's probably got a power of 80, if that. And obviously, if you're lower, then it's not very good at all. So Eruption is the sort of move that you want to run alongside another fire type move. Yes, okay, if you're full health points, go for the Eruption. Or if you're low health points, or not full health points, or have the chance that you're going to actually take damage this turn, then probably just go for the Flamethrower or whatever else you have. The times you can say, okay, I'm good to run Eruption, is say you switch out against a Grass Bug type. They're most likely not going to stay in battle. So, unless they have something up their sleeve, of course. So your enemy is probably just going to switch that Pokemon out into whatever Pokemon comes in next. You can Eruption, and they're going to take a full power eruption, which is not going to be nice for anyone, or for anyone taking that basically, unless of course they're immune to fire type moves. So generally eruption will still do decent damage in that case, even if it's not super effective, because it's high power. So that's sort of the case you'd want to use it in there. Then some TMs we have. One is TM05 Raw. If you're running a fairly defensive Camerupt, which is one of the sets we're looking at, you don't want to be facing against any water types. So if a water type comes in, raw them out. That's basically why you want Raw there. And obviously if they keep switching them in, you can keep rawing them out over and over again. You guys get the idea. Then we have TM06 Toxic, just the next TM up. Again, if you're running a defensive Camerupt, you can think about running Toxic, because if you're going to be roaring people in and out, Toxic might be helpful in sort of slowly working the opponent down, as well as the fact that you're not going to be doing too much damage if you're defensive. So Toxic's just going to work away at them slowly while you do some other damage or roar or whatever. Then we have TM10 Hidden Power. If you're running sort of a full attacking Camerupt, all 4 attacking moves, Hidden Power you have to run it, because you don't have that huge a move pool in terms of special moves outside of Earth Power and then a special fire type move. Hidden Power also can give you some coverage against other moves, other types. I mean, you're a bit weak to both water and ground, so the best type for you to get Hidden Power is grass, because then that will hit both of them pretty hard. So that's what you want to go for there. No questions asked about that if you can. Then we have TM35 Flamethrower, which is going to do pretty decent damage, alternative to Lava Plume if you're in single battles, and something you might want to run alongside Eruption. Another alternative to this is TM38 Fire Blast, more powerful, lower accuracy, so you really have to weigh up the options and think what you want to have there. The final move we have is a tutored move from Auras, and this is Stealth Rock. Again, if you're being defensive, you may as well have Stealth Rock there, because why not? Just throw the Stealth Rocks up while you're taking some attacks, basically. And that's the moves for Camerupt. So now, of course, before we look at the sets, we have to look at Mega Camerupt. Mega Camerupt, it retains its fire and ground type, so you really don't get any sort of relief there, I guess. But it does change in some other aspects. It gets bigger now, with this huge volcano on its back, going up to 8 foot 2 inches, or 2.5 meters. So it's a pretty darn tall, big Pokemon. You do not want to mess with Camerupt. And now weighs 706.6 pounds or 320.5 kilograms, so it's pretty heavy as well. The Mega Stone for Camerupt, the Cameruptite, is received in 2 different locations in Auras. In Omega Ruby, you get it from Maxi during the Delta episode, and if you're playing Alpha Sapphire, you get it from Maxi when you reach the Battle Resort. Simple as that. The Mega Evolution for Camerupt, obviously, as I mentioned, it gets this big volcano on its back, which is what increases its height and size, and it also gains a lot more sort of long hair, long fur around down by its feet. The base stats for Mega Camerupt, well, what changes? Well, first up, its special attack gets a boost of 40, I think it is, up to 145, so that's pretty powerful, and its physical attack also gets a boost of 20. Not as big, hence why we don't really see physical Mega Camerupts, aside from the fact that it hasn't got any physical fire stats. Then its defense goes up to 100 from 70, so it gets a 30 increase there. Its special defense gets an increase of 30 as well, up to 105, and its speed gets a decrease of 20. So it gets slower, but it also gets more powerful in the other aspects. Generally, because Mega Camerupt speed was so slow anyway, we don't care. Decrease the speed to 10 for all we care. Make it the slowest Pokemon in the game and give us more offensive stats, because that's what it really matters. That's what matters in the long run, basically. If we can take more attacks, even if we're not fast enough, we can still dish attacks out back. So generally, its stats have got a good increase, 30 increase in both defenses, so you got at least 100 in both defenses, so you can take pretty good moves, pretty well moves, unless of course they're water type moves, because you're still fire ground, and of course you can dish a lot of damage back with 145 special attack too. Mega Camerupt's ability is Sheer Force, which removes the additional effects of moves to increase the damage of them. So looking back at some of the moves we had, we have listed 4 Camerupt here. The ones that will get the bonus, Lava Plume will not. I think I might have a chance to burn. I'm not too sure. But Lava Plume generally, if you're running Mega Camerupt, you want to focus on a single target rather than just sort of spreading your damage around. Earth Power, I think, has a chance to lower special defense, so that will get a boost there, whereas Earthquake would not. Eruption, I think that's just, there's no secondary effect, it's just literally based simply on health points. That won't get any boost there. Hidden power, nope. Flamethrower has the chance to burn, so we'll get a boost in power there, as will Fire Blast. So you're going to do pretty good damage with all these fire type moves, and Earth power as well. So that's, you know, it's a good ability for Mega Camerupt. An ability I would have preferred is one that negated water type moves, or at least reduced the damage they did, but of course we didn't get that, so we have to deal with what we got. So now we know about Mega Camerupt, we know about the moves we can run on either of them. Let's have a look at these sets, starting off with 2 normal Camerupt sets, and then we're going to look at sort of your basic Mega Camerupt set. So this first Camerupt set is basically sort of a defensive one. We got one defensive set for Camerupt and then one sort of just completely offensive set. So yeah, I'll just get on with it. The moveset for the first one we have is Stealth Rock, Lava Plume, Earth Power and Roar. Ability is Solid Rock, Nature is a calm one, held item is the leftovers, and the EVs we have maximum health points, maximum special defense, and the rest in physical defense. So, moves. Stealth Rock, because we're being defensive, we can have Stealth Rock as an option if we have the chance to. Say we lead off with Camerupt and then lead off with a grass type, they're probably going to switch, so you can just Stealth Rock up and get a free Stealth Rock basically. Lava Plume, you could also change out for Flamethrower here. Obviously Lava Plume if you're going to use it in double battle, Flamethrower if you're going to use it in single. It really doesn't matter which one you use here, it's just either or, it's not really too much difference. Earth Power is then your secondary stab, so there's not much to say about that there, just more coverage. And then Roar is in case a water type comes in, because even though you are defensive, you're still going to take a lot of damage from water type moves, so if a water type comes in, you want to roar them out just straight away basically. Your ability here is Solid Rock because we want to reduce the damage as much as we can because we are defensive. Nature is a calm one. This is going to increase our special defense while lowering our physical attack. You know, basically it's as simple as that. So we don't null our attack, but our special defense, because most water type moves are special, increases it a bit and allows us to take more. Held items are leftovers because otherwise we've got no health and restoration at all, so that would be helpful. And then EVs we have maximum health points and special defense to give us all that bulk against those water type moves, and the rest in physical just to give us a bit more bulk elsewhere. How would you use this set? Well, you could lead off with it, but I wouldn't recommend it. You sort of want to get rid of the threats in the first place. Okay, get rid of the water type move, the water type Pokemon, any Pokemon with water type moves, or most of them at least. Then switch in Stealth Rock if you haven't already for the game, for the battle, and then just do some damage to the rest with your moves. And of course, because you're fairly bulky, as well as being able to dish out decent damage, yeah, why not? You could also run Toxic here instead of Roar, but of course then you lose the ability to get rid of water types if they come in. It really depends on how you want to use it in the battle, whether you want to wait around until all the water types are gone, or if you want to just sort of go in halfway through the battle regardless and set stuff rocks up and do whatever. It's up to you for that one really, you have to figure it out there. If we then look at the sort of the hyper offensive set I guess, or the full offensive set for Camerupt, the moveset is Eruption, Fire Blast, Earth Power and Hidden Power. Ability is Solid Rock once more. Nature's Time is a modest one. Our held item is a Choice Specs, and the EVs we have maximum special attack, 204 EVs in speed and then 52 in health points. So it's a bit of a different set here. Eruption is because if with Choice Specs, Eruption is going to do a lot of damage to whatever Pokemon, unless of course they got Flash Fire or whatever. But it will do a lot of damage. It's just the idea of you switching in Eruption, Choice Specs, boom, do a lot of damage, one hit kill a Pokemon, that's it, switch out the next turn. Because of course, if you take damage, Eruption's going to do less power, so you want to think about that. Fire Blast is your alternative, so if you've already taken damage, or if you know the enemy is going to outspeed you and they're only straight for an attack, maybe not waste it on Eruption, because then of course it's going to do less damage. Just go for the Fire Blast, it's already pretty powerful. Choice Specs that up with the modest nature and whatnot, and you're going to do a lot of damage still. Of course, if they're going to resist or be immune to, if there's a Pokemon on the enemy team that has Flash Fire, they might predict and switch in this Pokemon, so that they're not going to take any damage from the Eruption or a Fire Blast. So you can try and predict and go Earth Power, or of course, if they're a Rock type or whatever, you can go for Earth Power anyway, just to get the super effective move off. Hidden Power, as we talked about already, we want that to be a Grass type move. Of course, if you're then faced with a Water type or whatever, you can go for that instead. You sort of have to predict those switches, because you're not going to switch Camerupt in on a Water type, preferably. But of course you could switch it in and say, right, they have this Pokemon, I think they're going to bring it in and to resist my move. I'm going to give Hidden Power, predict it, and it might even kill it. If it's like a Seismitoad, boom, they're gone, almost, maybe, I don't know. You guys get the idea. Solid Rock is the best ability we have, so that's why we're running that. Modest, because we just want to do all the damage, okay, with this set. We don't care about defenses, we're probably going to get out in 1 or 2 turns. If we can get 1 full health point eruption off, job done, basically. Held item, yep, choice specs for the power. You could run Life Orb, but generally you're going to be dead in a turn or 2 anyway, so you might as well go for the choice specs. EVs, maximum special attack, because it's going to do all the damage. 204 in speed, this is in a certain tier that Camerupt falls in. 204 speed is going to allow you to outspeed certain Pokemon and get that full health point eruption off. So that's why we're running a certain amount of speed there. You could also run max speed or whatever, max health points, max defense, whatever you want to run there. But that's sort of what I'd recommend there. And the other 52 in health points, just to give you a bit more bulk there. I mean, I've sort of explained already how to use this set. Just sort of switch in Eruption if it's going to do damage, and then just go. It's a choice spec set. You just go in, you use an attack, and you switch out if you're going to get in danger. Basically, that set is very simple to use. So if we look at the last set, which is the Mega Camerupt set, which is where things, obviously, it's a Mega Camerupt. Be excited, guys. The moveset we have is Flamethrower, Earth Power, Toxic, and Stealth Rock. Ability is Solid Rock. Nature is a calm one. The held item is obviously the Mega Stone, the Camerupt type. And then the EVs we have 248 in health points, 176 in special defense, and 84 in speed. So, Flamethrower and Earth Power are 2 stabs. They both get a bonus from sheer force. Boom, easy. Fire Blast could also be run, but obviously Flamethrower is there for the higher accuracy. You don't want to go in, say, yes, I'm going to one-hit kill this person. Fire Blast, and then of course it misses, and then you get killed. That wouldn't be good. So Flamethrower is there for the higher accuracy. And then Toxic and Stealth Rock is because you're pretty bulky. So if you want to, you can try and Toxic the opponent if they're going to take your attack pretty well. Or you can Stealth Rock if you just want to get Stealth Rocks up, basically. Ability, I mean, it's going to change when you Mega Evolve anyway, but you may as well Solid Rock just in case you have to take some damage when you switch in. Nature is a calm one again, because we're not going all out power here, we sort of want to have a mixture. So Nature Calm is going to increase our special defense and lower our physical attack, so we're not using physical attack, so that's all good. Held item Mega Stone, not need to talk about that. EVs, we're going to put some in health points for the bulk, some in special defense for the sort of defense there, and then the rest in speed. Even though our speed is 20, we still want to have some decent speed. The first turn you Mega Evolve, remember, you keep the speed of your normal Pokemon, okay? All the other stats change, but the speed stays the same as the base. It doesn't change until the second turn you're a Mega. So you could outrun some Pokemon with this little speed boost on the first turn. Get the Sheer Force powered up, Flamethrower, Earth Power off, and you might be able to take them out there, even though they might be expecting to outspeed you if you're a Mega, sort of thing. They might say, okay, cool, if they're a normal Camerupt, they can't want to kill me. If they're Mega, I'm going to outspeed. Doesn't work like that, because obviously you have the speed of normal Camerupt on the first turn. It might help in some senses. Of course, then it's just a little speed boost. Otherwise, again, sort of as I mentioned, in the tiers it's mostly used in, it could help outspeed certain Pokemon that could cause you a problem otherwise. In terms of what other moves you might want to move around, you could get rid of Toxic and put Hidden Power there for the Grass type. Otherwise, you're pretty screwed against Water types, but of course you might want to stand against that anyway, because you haven't got a Solid Rock anymore. You're going to take a lot of damage. How would you use the set? Well, generally you want to Mega Evolve as soon as possible. Of course, you want it to be safe. You don't want to be faced with a Water type and think, yeah, I'll be fine, I'll just Mega and oh, I'm dead. You don't want to do that. You want to do it at the right time. If possible, do it when they have to switch. Mega Evolve and then just do damage to whatever comes in, and that's that. It's just a case of trying it out and using it and seeing what works best for you guys. But that's sort of it for this episode. I'm almost losing my voice here. As always, remember to vote down below in the comment section which Pokemon you want to see next week, either Uxie, Mesprit, or Azelf. The one that gets the most votes I'll be covering next week. But for now, all I can say is thank you for watching. I'll be seeing you next time. Goodbye, my friends.